All right, so this video I'm going to cover how to create a perspective section in Rhino and then bring that line work into Illustrator to add people and trees and other entourage. So we're going to start with the massing. So we have this building that we've modeled. I'm going to take a section perspective through it. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a clipping plane. So type clipping plane. And when you create it, make sure to select vertical. And we're going to create a clipping plane somewhere in the scene. Doesn't need to be very large. I'm just going to do this. And you'll see that it's going to clip the model in a particular direction. Make sure it's where you want it to be and in the proper orientation. In my case, I want to show the living room of this house. So I'm going to pull the section out to about here. I want to see the interior and this kind of view of the house. The other thing I'm going to do to align our view, I'm going to create a plane. So type plane. That's also going to be vertical. And I'm going to create a plane where our clipping plane is. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to use this orient, orient camera to surface command. And so it's going to ask, select the surface that we're going to orient the camera to, and you're going to select that surface that you just created. And then make sure the arrow is pointing in your direction, so where the camera is going to be. So I click a second time, and now the camera is oriented so that this plane is orthogonal to my view. So verticals are true, horizontals are true. If I start toggling the camera, it's going to mess this up. So the first thing I'm going to do is set this view. So I'm going to save this view so that if I move, it'll be something I can come back to. So I'm going to right click this, go to set view, named views, and we'll call this section perspective. Call it section perspective 2. And so now if I orbit, I can always double click on this view and come back to it. All right, so that's an important thing. But this isn't the view that I want. I want to pan. So I'm going to hold shift and right click simultaneously. So I can pan and I can zoom all while keeping the vertical and horizontal. So keeping this section that I'm cutting to scale. But if I start toggling, then I've lost it. So again, always go back to this. I'm going to hold right click and shift and pan. I can zoom out. I can set the height of this perspective that I like, but really just through panning and zooming. Once I've chosen the height that I want, and I have the extents, I'm going to save this. So I can update this scene by going to save and just renaming this or updating it. And you'll see that it's saved here. So now, again, if I move around, I can always double click and come back to that section perspective. So once I've found a view that I like, and we've saved this view, the next step is, and again, the goal here is to create a section perspective similar to the book Manual of Section, and that's the kind of quality that we're looking for. So we want to have line work that we can fill using Live Paint and Illustrator, and we can add entourage that we need. So I have this perspective. I'm going to select everything and type make 2D. And with this, make sure that the proper boxes are checked here. So a scene silhouette is going to give you a heavy perimeter line around the entire model. Clipping plane intersections, this is going to give you a separate layer for everything that the clipping plane is cutting through. Make sure this is selected because we can up the line weight of everything that's being cut in section. So that's going to be an important thing to check. We can group the output. I don't want to see hidden lines because that can get way too messy. I'm going to uncheck that, and we also don't need tangent edges. So I'm going to leave this and hit OK. Work from our 3D model. Okay, and when it does, it's going to project it flat on the C-plane. So I can move this over. Part of my drawing was being cut by the clipping plane, so that might be why some of your drawing isn't visible initially. Make sure it's on the right side of on the correct side of your clipping plane. And so now we have this drawing. And it's in proper layers. So if we go to our layers, we would be able to find it. Let's see. So this Make 2D layer is going to have all of our. It retained all the original layers that I had. So I had each of, the furniture on one layer and structure on another. It maintained those layers, but it's also going to create layers for the portion, the line work that's being cut in the model. All right, so once I have that, I want to export this to Illustrator, but I want to make sure that I'm in a plan view. So double clicking on this. Looks like I've already messed with that. So I'm going to go to top view. And once I'm in top view, I can select this, type export, and we'll call this section perspective 4. All right, so once I've exported that, I'll go into Illustrator. I'll open that file. And it'll come in typically too small, so I'm going to select everything and scale it up. Just holding Shift to make sure my proportions are correct. And just looking at this, there are different line weights. Everything is its own color, which we're going to get to be consistent in a second. Okay, so clicking on this, going to layers, you'll see that there's 3 layers, and I've also, it's reading the colors of each Rhino layer. So for each Rhino layer, I had a different color, and what it's doing is it's maintaining that in the line work in Illustrator. So even though it's on the same layer here, so all of this is on the same layer, I can select by color. So in Illustrator, I can, let's say I wanted to change the line weight of just the doors in the project, and all of these are the same color. I can select one of these lines and say select same stroke color and grab everything that is that color. I can do the same thing, select same line weight, select same fill color, anything to differentiate each of these. You'll also notice that the clipping plane cut is also on its own layer. So if you want to select all the line work on that layer, click on this circle next to it. So in my case, I want to select all of this. First, I'm going to change the color to be black. And I'm going to up the line weight to maybe, let's say 3, just to create a high contrast between the cut and everything else. I'm also going to play with the color of everything. And again, this is going to be pretty time consuming, I think, for anyone if you have a large complex model like this. The alternative would be to turn off a lot of this furniture and add it in as a vector graphic in Illustrator. But I can select all of this and change my color to black. So like scene silhouette here. It's not grabbing a true silhouette of this, so I'm just going to hide this anyway. And so already you're seeing a pretty decent contrast between the cut plane and surface geometry in the back. I am noticing these windows have a heavier line weight than they should get normally, so I'm going to select one of them. Select, same. I can go stroke weight, and it'll grab everything that's that stroke weight. And this is 1 point. That's a little heavy. I'm going to set this to 0.25 and bring that down a lot. So this is already much better, and pretty happy with the graphics. And this is something that, you know, every project can play around with. But I'm happy with the contrast. This line weight might be a little heavy, so I'm going to go to select everything on my clipping plane, and we'll set this to maybe 2.5 point. Bring that down a bit. The other thing you can do to create some contrast, so for example, we're not going to have this line here. Right? These are showing that this footing is hollow. It's not. This is solid concrete. So one thing to do is to select that. So again, I'm going to select everything on that layer, and I can go to Object, Live Paint. So this is going to allow us to selectively fill with color each of these regions. So it's going to read all of the line work and give me regions that I can fill. So that is under this Shape Builder tool. If you hold down Shape Builder, you'll see Live Paint Bucket. And if we give this a fill color, we can now go in and selectively fill the parts of the building that would get post shade here in this section. So this parallelogram beam, series of 2 beams. This is a modular house, so there's a seam down the middle, 2 C channels here for this part of the module, C channels here, and a blue lam or a parallelogram beam running down the middle. So I can fill in the portions of this model that should get filled. And so it did the live paint just with these, the line work on this layer. If I had done a live paint on my background layer, so if I had selected all of this and done a live paint, so I can do Object, Live Paint, Make. Yes, this might take a minute. So now it's calculating boundaries for all of this line work. giving me the option to fill that in. So if I wanted to live paint any of that, I can go live paint, choose another shade for that. For some reason it's still seeing this as one. Okay, so that was interesting because I have this live paint over this background. I have to turn this off in order to shade some of these. So if I wanted to shade the couch, I'll do that. So this shading technique can be great for more cartoon-like diagrams, drawings. You can also click and hold for multiple fills at once. So I can click and drag, and it'll give me kind of a multi-fill. So that's one technique. And you can use, different colors to create the illusion of three-dimensionality. So maybe I want to create, everything in this plane, have it be a lighter fill, and so on. So you can play with that. And I'm going to turn back on this layer. Okay, so it's starting to have the contrast that I'm looking for. The line weights are looking pretty good. I'm going to bring in people. So there's vector people that you can download from online. So these are some of them. I'm going to select this person. Control C, copy, and paste. I'm going to create a new layer for people, putting it on top of the other layers. Block the others so that we don't accidentally paste, and then Control V. So now this person can be, we can turn that layer on and off. And you'll want to make sure that the person is the correct scale. So I'm going to select them. First I'm going to group. So I'm going to right click group so that each of these fills are selectable at once, and then try to get the scale to be correct. And I want this person to be grayscale. So we will convert to grayscale. Thank you. All right, so you can add people to your scene that way, trees. I like to add a sky to the background, usually just enough to create this sense of atmosphere, but very subtle. So maybe a white to gray gradient in the background, something to give contrast to the drawing versus the background. All right, so go ahead and explore that. Hopefully that works out for you.